Okay, Thursday, 2nd of May, 2024. So everything is going to zero against Bitcoin. So that's an interesting statement thrown around in the Bitcoin space. Everything goes to zero against Bitcoin. So there's two interesting ways of looking at this. There's the price of things measured in Bitcoin and the price itself of Bitcoin measured in dollars. So back in like 2010, 15, 20, you name it, you would say, look at an item like a car, for example, and there'd be a chart that would tell you how many Bitcoin would be needed to buy that car. And that car would be $1,000 US, for example. And over time, as Bitcoin price increases, it takes fewer Bitcoins to buy that one car. Let's say Bitcoin is at $500 US, it takes two coins. $1,000 takes one coin. Let's say $2,000 takes half a coin. See what I mean? And the logic goes from there. So as the price of Bitcoin goes up in fiat terms, it means subsequently that it takes fewer Bitcoin to buy the same or more stuff. So you could say in the future, one Bitcoin could buy you 10 cars, for example, could buy you 70 cars. Ooh, wow. Do you see where we're going with this now? Now, there's an amazing website. There's actually two websites in the description below, which is the Louisiana Fed. I'm looking at it now. It's the eggs, grade A, large, cost per dozen in US cities, average. And it's Coinbase. Okay, fine, whatever. So looking at the price of eggs denominated in Bitcoin, something to that effect. And you look at the chart, because remember with Bitcoin, when in doubt, zoom out. Always look at the big picture chart, the logarithmic chart, especially with Bitcoin itself. But in this case, if we look at the full time span, going back at least January 2016, further than that, Jan 2015, we see the price of eggs have only gone one direction, which this is Satoshis, or how many Bitcoins are needed for one egg, or 1 dozen eggs. And the price there's a very, very clear trend down and to the right. That means that one Bitcoin over time is being able to buy more eggs. Okay, eggs, what's that? Okay, proof of concept. Now, another website, again in the description below, priced in Bitcoin 21, shows price of different things in Bitcoin over different time spans. Year to day, week, month, year to date, year, 3 years, and 5 years. Now, if we look at, well, anything really on this website, but if we look at, say, property, for example, I can't find exactly real estate, that's a different sector. Okay, even that, real estate, apparently denominated in Bitcoin has gone down 90% over the past 5 years. That means that the price of different things, in this case real estate, has decreased by 90% in terms of Bitcoin. Okay, so as the price of Bitcoin goes up, it takes fewer and fewer Bitcoins to buy the same things out there. And these all just show the charts of it and the long term. But notice also the long term, the numbers are almost triple digit. 90%, 90, 92, 93, 99.5% versus Argentine peso. The Argentine peso, along with Turkish lira, has basically gone to zero against it. I also saw a chart which is the Indian ruble has gone to zero against Bitcoin, where 1 rupee doesn't buy you enough of a Bitcoin. So it takes all the rupees, as many as you can to buy even 1 Bitcoin, which means the price has gone up denominated in that fiat term. But Argentine peso, over the past 5 years, has gone down 99.5, so basically 100% versus Bitcoin. It never truly, I don't think it can ever truly go to zero, because then that implies the currency itself would have collapsed and be non-existent. Even a certain number of Zimbabwe dollars back in the day would theoretically have bought you a Bitcoin. There'd just be, you just have a whole house, a whole stack. How many digits, how many zeros would it need to take to buy 1 Bitcoin denominated in Zimbabwe dollars during the hyperinflation? But still, it just goes to show that in the long term, everything goes to zero against it. This chart here with the eggs, the cost of eggs has gone down. It says 4.4 million. I'm not sure what that means exactly. Satoshis? I'm really not so sure. I don't know. I wouldn't have thought 40 million, but possibly. But okay. But the pattern is clear. It's gone down to the right, going to zero, trending to zero. And all these assets, all these other assets, let's have a look at precious metals even. Gold, on the 5-year chart is down 90.77. Silver, down 91. Platinum, down 89. Palladium, down 96% over the past 5 years. These are insane numbers. So that means that the price of Bitcoin goes up, it takes fewer Bitcoin to buy the same amount of stuff. Why? First principles, Bitcoin's fixed supply. And 21 million. On the 21st of August, there's a great meme date in the Bitcoin space. It's infinity divided by 21 million. 21 and an infinity sign, this 8 on its side, 8, 21, 21st of August. Now, what that means is in the world, there's no limit to how many things can be created. Eggs, cars, buildings, people, books, shirts, you name it, books. You name it. In the physical, tangible world, look around us. Potatoes, cherries, apples, you name it. There's no limit, or the limit's undefined. It's unclear. We don't know exactly how much gold and oil there is in the future. Even if an asteroid comes by, what does that mean? Increases the supply. Increases the supply. Bitcoin fixes this. Meaning, no matter what happens in the world, one mathematical guarantee is that there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, which means that it's 21 million divided by infinity, or infinity divided by 21 million. I can't remember exactly right now. 21 infinity, I'm sure. Everything else can be created, printed, built, found, grown, you name it. But there'll only ever be 21 million. So that means then that we have to fit the entire globe, everything known into mankind, into civilization, into 21 million Bitcoin. Which means then that over time, as the price of Bitcoin goes up, one Bitcoin will be able to buy exponentially or linearly more and more things. You can buy, well, depending on the price, but at its all-time high. Hold on, let me double check actually. Well, it doesn't matter, technical details. One Bitcoin, and you could buy you kind of almost one house in the UK. In the UK, one house. It could easily buy you a high-end car at all-time high in the UK. So, you can extrapolate that and look at the chart and other coins, other currencies in the world. And, if we look at, say, BTC in Argentine peso, right now it's 52.1 million Argentine peso. What could you buy in Argentina for 52.1 million pesos? Now, inherently, I don't know. Sincerely, I don't know, but the point still stands. That's one Bitcoin. So what can you buy for one Bitcoin in Argentina? Well, it's 52.1 million Argentine pesos. Again, point still stands. Because it's got a fixed supply. This 21 million means that the whole world has to fit into this. So as the price of Bitcoin goes up, because there's a black hole of money, it can buy more and more things. And we know this by looking at the charts. We look at the price of eggs, priced in Bitcoin 21, even looking at, say, if we go on Argentine peso to BTC, the price has just collapsed. And Bitcoin will continue to go up in Argentine peso and other currencies, not because Bitcoin is getting more valuable, it's maths. It's just staying the same. The first principles kick into effect. It's that the currency itself is getting weaker, more and more printed, more and more devalued, you name it, debased, whatever else. You could even, if you go really, you could even say that the wheels are falling off the cart. The wheels are falling off the cart, and the whole system is collapsing. Therefore, people are looking for a safe haven, a risk-off asset, BTC, for security, because they understand the maths and the science behind it, the first principles, and they realize that this is a better, superior asset than something else, i.e. the 0 to 1 effect. Peter Thiel's book 0 to 1, it's 10 times better than the competition. So that means then, looking at the charts, looking at maths, everything then is going to zero against Bitcoin. Meaning in the future, one Bitcoin could be able to buy you an infinite amount of different things. It'll be legendary. In 2 or so halvenings from now, to say one Bitcoin, it will be an astronomical number. That is just how today, when someone says, I have 1,000 Bitcoin, it's just, what? That's insane. Even 100 is like, what? 10 is like a respectable, large amount, it's a lot, today's prices. But imagine two more halvenings from now, eight more years from now, 2030, 2032, at the current rate and the current trend, it's insane what's going to happen. But everything goes to zero against Bitcoin. Looking at the charts, looking at the numbers, that appears to be the case, yeah. But otherwise, you will see me tomorrow.